Rise up, Gunbreakers! If you're here to tank, parse, or prog, then I've got the tips for you. Gunbreaker got some pretty significant changes for patch 7.1. It doesn't sound like a lot, but Double Down got changed from 2 cartridges to 1. So how does that affect us? Well, depending on if you're playing at 2.5 or not, a couple things are going to change. Today, we're going to cover 2.4x when you get 9 GCD No Mercies. I'll cover the 8 GCD No Mercies in another video. So we're going to open the fight with Lightning Shot into Bloodfest, Keen Edge, Potion, Brutal Shell, and then go into our No Mercy window. You'll see how things get changed a little bit. I'm going to stop talking as we go through the rotation, and you'll just see how the shifts go with Double Down. It's not going to be as impactful as you think, rotationally and uptime, but this is a huge change when we have downtime in phases like Ultimates with Fru coming up. Today is November 12th, so we have just 2 weeks left until we have Futures Rewritten Ultimate coming out, and you may have a lot of situations where you would have AoE'd to get extra cartridges in the past, or just had less cartridges, so now your Double Down is super delayed, and that's not going to happen anymore, we don't think. We'll see. So I'm going to get into the rotation, let's break away, and then we'll talk again when we're coming up on the reopener for the potions, so we can show you how that goes. Here we go. Also, while you're following along, I have displayed the GCDs in the top right, including what you need to open the fight, the OGCDs below them, and on the left side in the battle log you can see our actions that are executed after we've played them. Now, you did notice that I delayed my Gnashing Fang to put an extra burst strike in the potion. It will reverse our Double Down coming up on this next window, but Gnashing Fang will fix itself in the 2-minute window. There's the reversal, and due to reverse drift when we have faster skill speeds, which basically means that our Gnashing Fang and Double Down and stuff get a reduced recast, we're able to shift it backwards in our rotation. When you're playing 2.5, you can't do that. So you want to be on the lookout. If you're playing 2.5, it's going to be a little bit more strict, and you'll shift the loop that you're on depending on what the fight is asking of you, whether you're disengaging or there's downtime or whatever. Now, as we approach the 2-minute window, we want to enter No Mercy with 2 cartridges. We can enter with 3. There'll be a burst strike somewhere in the 9 GCDs when you're at 9 GCD No Mercy. 2.5, it's really important that you enter with less than 3 because you don't want to screw that up. But you'll see why that's important in just a moment. Here we go. So we're going to go into 2 cards. It's natural. There's the Gnashing Fang fixing itself. There's the Double Down with a Bloodfest popping right up. Now, Bloodfest we held on to for quite a bit, but it's because we popped it very early in the opener. Lionheart combo sits here. We'll be able to get that burst strike I was talking about at the end before exiting on a Sonic Break. Now, you might say, hey, Rin, why are you using Sonic Break at the end of the window? It's a dot. I don't want to miss any of it. For the first few minutes of the fight, that's not really going to matter, is it? Because the boss isn't dead. The very last use in the fight, yes. The very last use in the fight, you can use Sonic Break and should use Sonic Break earlier to maximize your dot ticks. This is also useful at the 6-minute window in M4S against Wicked Thunder, where you have the transition and you want to max your dot ticks before she goes invulnerable and jumps away and then deletes the dots that are on her. So you could shift it forward then. No big deal. Not a big deal at all. Especially at these faster GCDs, you can shift your cooldowns around pretty well. So you'll notice here I did go in with 3 cartridges. And the reason it doesn't matter, it's because we're on the odd minute burst. During the odd minute burst, you are able to freely, and I recommend you to just put that burst strike wherever you want. You don't have your Lionheart combo. We're going to exit here with a burst strike into, you guessed it, Sonic Break. Now, why is Sonic Break the 9th GCD? Because if Burst Strike were the 9th GCD, that continuation, hypervelocity, you'd miss it. It would not be in your No Mercy. So you really want to make sure that's buffed, and there's no reason not to. You may also, from time to time, you may see here my blasting zone got delayed. I pushed it forward a little. Totally fine. It's still going to be in buffs. It's still going to be in burst. Depending on your FPS, your latency to the server, your rig on your computer, you may run into these issues. It's not an issue. It's totally fine. You're cool. Also, from time to time, you might microclip your GCD. Also, not really too big of a deal, as long as you're getting all 9 GCDs in your burst. If it ain't costing you something in the fight, then you're good. The next 2-minute window is going to be pretty spicy. So here, you're not going to have Sonic as your last GCD, that's fine. It's not an obligation, since the last GCD I'm going to put here is one of my filler combos. So as long as you're putting a Keen Edge, Brutal Shell, or Solid Barrel in, you're fine. Totally cool if that's the last GCD. Just as long as it's not something that has an OGCD attached to it. Coming up on our burst window, you're going to have the option to send your burst strikes at the end or at the beginning, depending on what is the optimal potion timing for you. Sometimes you'll want to pot a little later, sometimes a little earlier. Also, you want to be very cognizant of players' raid buffs, and if you need to shift for that. So we're going to put our potion here, go into our window. Very natural. Then we get our Bloodfest, and then we give them the business. You're going to be at 3 cartridges here. You're going to use 1, exit with your Sonic Break. You could finish your Solid Barrel, that's totally fine. Burst Strike because the hyper velocity catches. And exit out. We did empty all of our carts. Is that fine? You may be asking yourself, am I screwed now? Well, we're about to find out. With 20 seconds left on our No Mercy, and at a 2.4 GCD, you need 7.2 seconds to get a cartridge. We should be fine. And you'll notice our Gnashing Fang will come up just before No Mercy. Fine. Delay it. It's okay. And we're right back to that window we were talking about before where you have the 3rd cart, but you don't have to use it right away. You get your double downs out of the way, you know? The world's your burrito. We're going to finish this whole combo, aren't we? Burst Strike, exit out on the Sonic Break. And that's effectively Gunbreaker. You may also notice we're rocking a brand new weapon glamour today. This is the crafted diamond weapon. The Zeta Blade was one of my favorites, so I got it crafted immediately. My friend Zod was able to do that for us. It was really cool. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out at any time. I am more than happy to help you out. Hopefully this helps you grasp new Gunbreaker. It's going to be a lot easier than it was before, and honestly, you might not even notice the changes. I think the biggest guffaw people are going to have is they may Bloodfest with a cartridge still in the bank, right? It's going to be in the tank, and you're going to press the button, and you're going to go, oops, muscle memory. Really? That's the biggest thing. Not too much to fret about. This really enables us to burst a lot earlier and get everything out the window. And if you die, you're going to be able to get those cartridges back for the 1 cart double down. So a lot of issues that are presented in prog scenarios where your optimization might not be what it's supposed to be. is going to be alleviated by having fewer cartridges required for your burst, because really, you only need 2. As long as you have 2 carts, you could do any burst window. You might be missing a burst strike in it, but look at what we're looking at here. 460 potency versus solid barrels, 460 potency, so that's a wash. Those are even. You're gonna miss the continuation. That's fine. Or you compare it to a keen edge and a brutal shell. Now it's a little bit more of a potency loss, but who cares? The big thing is, if you get your gnashing and you get your double down, you're doing just fine. You'll clear the content. So if you die, you might need to do an AoE combo to get your cartridges to keep things in sync or whatever. If there's a phase and you lose a use, or if you got Bloodfest coming on, you're good. You're fine. Honestly, don't fret too much. You're going to be good. These are good changes. If it seems like it's useless, well then maybe you just haven't been in a situation where it matters too much. And you may also be wondering, hey, how is Superbolide going to work now? What's going on? I'm here to show you real quick. We're going to break out of combat. We're going to swap our gear. We're going to gear swap up, and we'll just show you. Effectively, you're going to be missing a whole lot of HP. So it is going to reduce HP by 50%. You're wondering, are you still able to troll your healers? And the answer is that it sets you to half. You're good. You're fine. I don't know how this will work with... I don't know. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You're good. That's it for me. Catch you later. Also, the bulleye was just a meme. I'm just... We're not in combat. Catch you guys later. See ya.